A new poll is out from CBS News, and man, is it good news for Trump and Trump supporters. Americans feel good about the economy and give Trump credit, according to a CBS News poll. This is really interesting, and I think what we're going to read through here is going to be, once again, another story predicting that Trump potentially could win. I think Trump's going to win in 2020. I'll put it that way. Just throw out my opinion there. No, I am not going to be supporting Trump. I don't care. Just because I don't personally like him doesn't mean I'm going to be blind to the fact that he's going to win unless the Democrats can actually do something that makes sense. They're not, so let's be rational. Partisanship aside, Trump's going to win. Plain and simple. And there's more than just this. We have this story from the New York Times from a few days ago. Trump is outspending every 2020 Democrat on Facebook. Combine the fact the economy's great, people are giving Trump credit, and he's outspending them by a massive, massive amount. I don't see him losing. You look at what happened with Australia, the right-wing one. Brexit party projected to win huge. The nationalists in India win. How is Trump going to lose this? Hey, maybe. Right? I'm not Nostradamus, okay? I don't know the future, but I think the signs are clear. And I don't understand how you can keep slapping people in the face with, look at what's happening, and the Democrats can't get their act together. Before we get started, check out timcast.com/donate if you'd like to support my work. There's a monthly donation option, cryptocurrency addresses, a physical address, but of course, you can just share this video, like the video, comment below, because the interactions help tell YouTube the video's good, and also you can just, if you're on the podcast, review it with a positive review, or if you hate me, feel free to do nothing. But let's get back to the story and take a look at this data. They say, most Americans remain confident about the U.S. economy and in their own financial situation, and more now give President Trump's policies credit for a strong economy than did so last year. 7 in 10 Americans say the economy is in good shape, including a quarter who say it is very good. That's huge. Nearly all Republicans and most Democrats and independents share this view. If you've got 60% of Democrats saying things are going great, how do you expect to win 2020? I just do not see it happening. Americans increasingly give the president credit for the economy. 41% of those who say the economy is good say Mr. Trump's policies are mostly responsible, up from 32% at the beginning of 2018. Republicans give the president relatively more credit for the economy than Democrats do. Well, of course they would. But check this out. 32% say mostly Trump. 39% say partially Trump. Only 27% say not Trump at all. I'm talking about the Democrats. That's bad news for Democrats. I'll tell you why. Like the politicians. If your own base recognizes that Trump has done good, even only a little bit, why would they vote for you? Why would they want things to change if they're going really well? They go on to say, 41% of Americans approve of how Mr. Trump is handling his job as president. That is closer to where his rating was last summer than it was in the poll, this poll more recently in January. Approval ratings have remained within a fairly narrow range throughout his presidency so far. So among all Americans, now it's 41%. Across particular measures, the economy is the president's strongest. 50% of Americans approve of how he's handling the economy. In contrast, more Americans disapprove of his handling of immigration, foreign policy, and trade with other countries. But here's the thing. Immigration is at 38%, foreign policy 39%, and trade is 41%. Amid congressional Democrats' attempts to investigate the president's finances, 40% of Americans think Mr. Trump has financially profited from his time in the presidency. Now, will that translate into people caring about, the president? Are people going to say, I refuse to vote for Trump because I believe this? I don't think it will. I think people are going to be more concerned with themselves. And while they may say, I disagree with Trump over these issues, very much so, I don't know, man, the economy's going really well. My kids are going to go to college. They say more than 24% who think he has made financial sacrifices in order to serve as president. Another 33% don't think his finances have changed much either way from his being president, but partisans see this differently. Republicans are more apt to feel he has made sacrifices, and Democrats more prone to think he has gained financially. Except the numbers are clear. Trump's net worth has dropped significantly. So where Democrats get that idea from, I don't know. You can argue Trump's tried to profit and argue emoluments clauses, but the facts are clear. Trump's net worth has gone down. Looking ahead, Americans are more positive about the market than they were a few months ago. Despite recent fluctuations, 56% now say they are optimistic about the stock market over the next 12 months, up from 49%. There is a partisan division about where the economy goes from here. 37% of Americans think the economy is getting better. including 71% of Republicans, but just 11% of Democrats. So that's potentially bad news. Trump's going to have to win over some independents and Democrats in that front. Looking at their own pocketbooks, most Americans are very or somewhat confident in their own financial situation, but their confidence is related to income. Those earning more express a lot more confidence than those earning less. Despite the optimism, Americans are wary of a possible trade war with China and its potential impact on the economy. Few think the U.S. will emerge the clear-cut winner in any such conflict. Few think the tariffs on Chinese imports will be good for the U.S., and that's basically the gist of the poll. But again, let's stress the most important parts are that most people think the economy is good. 71%, the majority of all groups, Democrats included, 60% of Democrats think the economy is good, and 32% think Trump is mostly responsible, 39% partially responsible, meaning the overwhelming majority of Democrats think, at least somewhat, Trump has done a good job with the economy. Pair this up with Trump's spending on Facebook. I know Facebook isn't the only place to buy ads, but take a look at this. We've got around $1 million spent by Elizabeth Warren. She's the top spender on Facebook ads for Democrats. Trump, over $4 million, nearly $5 million. He is dominating ad spends. And you know what they say? Those who spend the most they typically win. Look, there's a lot of money being spent on Facebook ads. And I'll say this, too. It's great news for us on YouTube. Seriously, a lot of people might not know this, but if you do news, election season is money in the bank. And that's why there's so much election coverage, because everybody wants to know who's going to win, what's going to happen. And all of these candidates are spending money to sway your vote, and that money goes into the pockets of YouTubers like me. Admittedly, it doesn't matter what I talk about, but everyone knows this. It's an open secret. If you didn't know this, I'll tell you right now. Going into 2020, political content is going to be worth gold. For YouTube videos like this, you're going to have all the Democrats trying to buy ads on these videos for two reasons. For one, they want to get the message out, but more importantly, if I make a video saying Democrats are screwing up and are going to lose, they want to put an ad in front, in the middle, and at the end, disagreeing with the commentary. They want to push back on the narrative. So that means they love running ads on the other side's platforms or, something like that. Now, admittedly, a lot of my videos are going to be very critical of the Democrats for one simple reason. Trump is the incumbent. There's no other Republicans. It's Trump. We know who Trump is. We get it. Right now, the battle is between Democrats. You're going to get mad at me for criticizing Democrats. I'll tell you to go away. The issue is, if Biden comes out and criticizes, Kamala Harris or whatever, I'm going to talk about that. If the Democrats can't get a clear message, I'm going to talk about that. We know what Trump's message is. It was the wall. It's the same thing, okay? I'm not going to make a million videos talking about what we already know. We've got a battle raging between, look at this ridiculous number of Democrats. That's absurd. Let's read a little bit, though. They say Mr. Trump spent particularly heavily on Facebook ads at the beginning of the year when the number of Democratic candidates was smaller, but the playing field has shifted. Since entering the race last month, former Vice President Joe Biden has pumped more than $1 million into Facebook ads, outspending Trump's campaign for 3 of the past 4 weeks. So far this year, Mr. Trump has spent about $5 million on advertising on Facebook. Earlier in the year, Trump's Facebook spending exceeded that of all the Democratic candidates put together, though Democrats' collective spending eventually surpassed Trump's total. So it'll be interesting. That collective advertising is going to be good for Democrats across the board. But they're pitted against each other. Eventually, they're going to start going for each other's throats, and it's going to tear them down. For a long time, Trump was running an intensive campaign that no one was paying attention to, said Mike Schneider, a partner at Bully Pulpit Interactive. And while Democrats have picked up their efforts, they're fighting over the same group of supporters while he's broadly expanding his base. Much of Mr. Trump's spending on Facebook advertising in recent weeks has gone toward ads that have been seen by older Americans, particularly women 55 and older, according to an analysis by Bully Pulpit. We can see that estimated Facebook ad spending by the Trump campaign is targeting mostly women 65 and older. Now, I think the reason for this is Republicans are losing women, for sure. And Trump's got to do a lot. Now, here's the other thing. The Democrats, I think it's like 68% of millennial women are Democrat. That's huge. And that's bad for Republicans. So definitely they're going to be targeting women, but they're mostly targeting older women. They definitely do still put money towards the millennial generation for females, but not so much. They're putting way more money towards millennial men than they are millennial women. And I think it may be that they can't compete with Occupy Democrats. They can't compete with propaganda machines, but they're definitely still going to allocate some money towards this. They say older voters are an important constituency for Mr. Trump, having favored him over Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election, according to exit polls. Trump also has reason to want to shore up his standing with women as white women shifted leftward in the midterm election. So that's bad news for Trump. But I do think ultimately, in the end, well, look at it this way. I don't think it matters necessarily the minutia of how he's targeting. The fact is he's spending like 5 times what the other individuals are spending, and the polls show people are pretty damn happy. Once again, the polls and the data, in my opinion and an expert opinion, show Trump is doing a lot to secure 2020. He's got the incumbent advantage, and the economy is doing really, really well. So what are you going to do about it? I don't see the Democrats winning, but let me know what you think in the comments below. You can follow me on Minds. I don't know. I'm done. I'm going to wrap this up. We'll more segments starting tomorrow at 10 a.m. timcast.com/donate if you want to support my work. You can comment. Let me know what you think about Trump and his chances of winning, but the data is here. It's interesting. And thanks for hanging out. I'll see you all next time.